Hey everyone, it's Will, GamerDad, with another video for you. So remember that after the 4th battle, you can come directly to the top of Nadera Volcano and take on the last encounter battle in order to unlock AS Gariyu. Now if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate it. Also, I do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me this way. So, I will say that it was a little bit annoying that we can't warp here directly to the top of Nadera Volcano. However, one good thing is that you can actually power up your AF bar on the way up very easily, especially since the mobs are very weak. So if you already burned the AF bar on your 4th battle, you don't have to really worry about anything. Just heal up, get some food, and then wander your way up, and you'll be able to have a half bar AF in no time at all. How's everyone liking these encounter battles so far? The 4th battle for me was a little bit more challenging than the last, and I imagine that this one is going to be a lot more challenging. I did actually have to try this particular battle a few times just to get the rotation down and to get a feel for what kind of damage we're up against. It looks like Gariyu obviously has thrown in the soul of the Ember Dragon into the lava pool in order to absorb the fire elemental still here in the top of Nadera Volcano. So that was what the Shining Orb was left over from the 4th encounter battle. Now let's see what we're up against. Alright, so we have the Ember Dragon in its full form. So we're not going to hold back at all. Of course, Gariyu is up to the challenge as usual, and being his usual cocky self, he is going to challenge the dragon to show who is the greater flame user of all time. Now note that Gariyu does have an Otherlands staff, which makes him a little bit faster. And note that I also started with a full fire team to start. So the enemy has now activated Fire Zone, and that means that every fire attack regularly, whether or not it's one hit or multi-hit, will charge the AF bar the same amount. Being that I have Sukiya as well as Seti, I'm going to start the battle by laying one stack of Scalding Serenade as well as the Vigilant Lance, and then I did all fire attack after that. And once I had enough damage, I also used the power debuff on Gariyu as well. So after that is done and you have brought the boss down to 60% left, that is 40% of its HP down in the first turn, it goes into this 5-turn rotation. So it boosts power, and every turn you are taking some fire damage, so keep that in mind when planning your attack. Also, I am bringing in Mariel as well as Annabelle. And note that I did rotate so that Annabelle comes in last with her VC. Remember that Annabelle's VC does protect everyone by increasing their physical defense by 35%. And the first turn is a 3 times XL single target fire slash. So depending on your team's makeup, you need that extra protection, otherwise it'll get wiped out with those 3 hits. So again, just like most really tough boss battles, damage mitigation is very important, either by putting up more shields yourself, or power debuffing or int debuffing the enemy. After that, it does a physical AoE that applies poison to some of the enemies. And then it also does another round of 3 times XL Fire Slash. Now once you've stacked Deliverance Sword and or Vigilant Lance and or Holy Saber, or at least on my team, if you have your own team obviously you can do different things, then you will be prepared for what's coming after that. So on the 4th turn it has a 1500 fixed damage, which is the Deep Breath. It already also powers up its int, and this is in preparation for its final attack, which is Destructo Flame. And then it repeats on turn 1 again. I didn't mention that turn 1 also he boosts his own power. So on turn 5 I always rotate the other 2 characters, Sukiya and Seti, out. And I use Annabelle and Mariel to tank the hit. The reason for that is on my first couple of tries, Sukiya and or Seti would die even with shields and debuffs up. So again, you might want to try it out and see what kind of damage your characters can take. Also note that in the very beginning, the enemy absorbs water, so you won't be able to use a water team for the first part of the battle. Okay, so after that I rotated everyone back in, and we're just going to do additional damage. Now note that Fire Zone is active throughout this whole fight, so any attacks that you use that are fire based will power the AF bar a fair bit. And as long as you keep your shields and damage mitigation up, and rotate characters to the back when Destructo Flame hits, you should really have no problem ending this boss. I will say that I do have Fire Grass to equip on most of my fire characters, and so my damage output might be a lot different than yours. In the case of Sukiya and Yuan, for example, it's 30, 20, 20 fire boost elemental damage. In terms of Seti, I only have the one single Fire Grass on it, and Gariyu also has 30, 20, 20 as well. I will also say that the Deliverance Sword with the Rage ability really does help save the battle if you do have Annabelle. I mean, all of us should have a 4.5 Annabelle. If you do have a 5, it'll make things a little bit easier. And of course, having Mario with her Aurora Force as well as Refresh Sleep and Pure Cradle does help a lot. I might actually switch Cure Leaf out instead of using Refresh Sleep, only because the damage is very constant, especially with the background damage every turn. And of course, a lot of the moves do significant amounts of damage. So we do have a full AF powered up, and so after Destructo Flame hits, my recommendation is to activate your AF and rotate everyone in right after Destructo Flame. The reason for that in my case is that I've already applied a power debuff on the enemy, and after that, the first turn, it just boosts itself, so you'll have some room to attack the enemy with. And since we do have power debuff on, you can see the damage was only in the few hundred range. And so let's activate the AF and finish the boss once and for all. So note that, the boss is just under half HP, and we can see how much damage we do and see if we overkill it. Again, a reminder that with the Fire Zone active, your fire damage also is increased by 50%, so that really helps a lot with doing a lot of damage. So these numbers obviously are repeatable once you master the use of a Fire Zone, and as well as master the use of AS Gariyu. So with that, easily 5 million damage, and we have finished off the boss. Alright, not too bad. I will say that again, it wasn't that easy. I did try a few times just to get the hang of it and get the rotation down. So, even Gamer Dad does have times where he has to, spend a little bit more time and planning a strategy. I will also say that if you do have Yuna AS, you can also remove the Fire Zone by using her ability and Valor Chant to activate the Water Zone, in which case you'll be able to end the battle fairly easily with Yuna as well. And it looks like Gariyu has now converted to Gariyu AS and absorbs the black flame of the Ember Dragon. Now that's a pretty cool move. He's doing some mega attacks and mega damage and powering up for his final move. The graphics on this particular part, I do really like that glowing purple. Makes Gariyu look really cool, and his damage output looks amazing. Now if he has that when he is being used on our team, I will say that will look really awesome. Let me know in the comments below which version you like better. I think the AS Gariyu looks a lot cooler and a little bit more intimidating. Also, he has now absorbed everything, and he has learned the Eternal Flame. For all of you who are as old as I am, you might remember the song Eternal Flame from the Bangles. I won't make any more comments about it, but if you want to, you can search YouTube and find the video and see what you think of the song. If you guys are younger than I am, well, it really shows how old I am. So later on, after I put up these videos, I'm going to go back to sleep for a couple hours, and maybe later on in the day, I'll upgrade AS Gariyu and hopefully have a video out for you in terms of a 5-star review. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.